Today, the Orlando Magic will be without Wendell Carter. Who can come out with the victory today? Can the Bulls silence all the talk around the team with trades and everything else and just focus on winning a basketball game? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, you beautiful motherfuckers? Welcome to another pregame show and episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, and this, if you're not aware, you are on the number one Chicago Bulls YouTube channel and podcast in the world. If somebody got a problem with it, they can come see me. With that being said, the Chicago Bulls, amongst a bunch of trade talks, things like that, have a game tonight against the Orlando Magic. Is one of two games they're facing off against them with over the next couple of days. We face off against them again on Friday, which is an in-season tournament game, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But when it comes down to it, things kind of stay the same with the Chicago Bulls as of right now where they are. Execution on defense, forcing turnovers, rebounding the ball well, shoot the ball decently. That's the pillars right now, the Chicago Bulls victories. If they can do those things, they can be in games, right? This is another young, scrappy team that has some players that can absolutely give the Bulls fits. And so we want to see how the Bulls are going to stand up with that. They got two players right now that neither one are averaging 20 points per game. They're right up close to 19. It's Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. Two very important players to what they're doing. Cole Anthony, fresh off his contract extension, is averaging 13 points per game as well. Mo Wagner's averaging 12. Jalen Suggs averaging 12 as well. And then you got Markelle Fultz averaging 11. Those are all their players averaging double-digit points. And so the Orlando Magic are a deep team. Now, quality depth, that's a story for another day. They sit at 5-5 on the season. I would love for my team to be 500. But they got some depth there, and you want to see how that team's going to perform and how the Bulls bench can come in and perform against this team as well. So we end up seeing that. Jonathan Isaac is another player coming off their bench who is only averaging 5 points per game. He's played he's played in all 8 games so far. So shout out to him for being able to get back on the basketball court despite all his numerous injuries that he's playing on. Already close to matching his game total for last year, where he only played 11 games. So we'll see what that means for the Orlando Magic. But it just comes down to it is this. The Chicago Bulls bench alone is better than the Orlando Magic bench. So the Bulls should be able to be in this game. Now, the starting lineup, that's a story for a different day, right? Those Bulls starters have gotten off the slow starts in most of these games. They've left much to be desired for. Vooch and Zach, who are both playing in this game, are averaging close to their career low as far as field goal shooting percentage. So, you hope that they're going to be able to kind of get back on track in a game like this. But nothing with the Chicago Bulls is ever certain, right? That's the one thing that we can bet on, is that nothing is certain and you can't bet on shit. That's it. You can't bet on a goddamn thing when it comes down to it. So we'll see what that means for the Chicago Bulls in this game, and if the team can come in and perform well and be coached well as also on top of that. Let's go ahead and get into the comments. Let's see how you guys are feeling about it. If Patrick Williams is starting tonight, I would look to take off, especially against Franz Wagner. That's if he's not playing the power forward spot. I mean, listen, when it comes down to it, we don't know what that lineup is going to be. We'll see what it's going to be about. We got about 25 minutes until the starting lineup is probably going to be announced. And we'll see what it's going to be. I would not be surprised, especially if Alex Caruso is playing. If he's inserted into that starting lineup and everybody kind of slides down to additional spot. It looks like Alex Caruso was announced as available to play tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Caruso starts at the 1 or the 2, and you see that be the change up in that lineup. So we'll see. If Patrick Williams does get the start, don't be surprised if this is Billy Donovan really trying to see if that added aggression that Patrick Williams has been coming off the bench with, if it's something that can be solidified. So we'll see what happens with that. I really do hope that this team just plays and performs better. I really do. I'm also going to put a link in the chat as well. So C-Dub will be doing a live call. We host Playback TV. It's under the Chicago Bulls Central. So there you guys go. If you guys want a live call, go in there, go check it out. Playback TV is a really good platform as well, so make sure you guys are checking that out. But let's get into the next one. What's good, Haize? I know that Zach Trey Buzz is going ape shit right now, but how are you doing otherwise? Other than working my fucking ass off, I'm pretty good, man. Like just today, I've dropped 2, 5, 6, 7. This makes video number 8 today. I've dropped 2 on Chicago Bulls Central. This is the 3rd. I've dropped 3 on Chicago Bears Central. I did a guest spot over on the NBA Report with CP the Franchise from Knicks Fan TV. And then I did a Bleacher Report live stream as well. I have been working up a black sweat. That's what I've been doing. What's up, my guy? What the hell is going on in the NBA? Last night, people were getting choked out and hands on 2 games. Listen, Draymond Green, that chokehold that he put Rudy Gobert in, is that not just proof that Rudy Gobert is one of the softest big men in the league, right? Draymond must have watched Baby Boy the night before or the day because he choked Rudy Gobert out like Vig Rhymes. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. That suspension is going to be real. Not gonna lie, I hope Draymond gets a big ass suspension for it. If Ja got 25 games for flashing the gun on live, Draymond choking out another player should be a worse suspension. No, it's not gonna be a worse suspension because guess what? The image of the league ain't guns, right? And I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with it. I'm just saying that it's probably not going to be as harsh as John Morant's. Keep in mind also, they gave John Morant a pass on the first time, so they did come down on him a little bit harder the second time. Shay also chips in. I know size doesn't mean anything in a fight, but Gobert is too big to be getting choked out like that. Hey, listen, that's worse than Tony Bradley being carried off. I'm sorry. A grown man choking you out and you tapping out like you in the goddamn WWE ring, that's worse than getting picked up and walked off. Because, that's worse. Archangel says, watch you and Justin today, and you guys said the most disturbing thing. The Bulls are open to trading everyone except DeMar. That's not what we said, Archangel. I didn't say they're open to trading everyone. I just said that a rumor had also come out that the Bulls are open to keeping DeMar DeRozan on whatever the next version of the team is. And it's about the contract and how DeMar feels about the direction of the team. Didn't necessarily say that they're open to trading everyone but DeMar, though. So if that helps, I mean, I understand the stress in that either way, but hopefully that helps some. Nikola Vucevic needs to try to drop 50 tonight, especially with Paolo being primarily on the perimeter guarding Torrey Craig. That's how you spell Torrey? And Patrick Williams. I mean, we'll see. We'll see, bro. Humble servant in the building says, what up, family? Game time? It's game day is the quote here, so you already know. The Balzac is done. Vince McMahon theme music playing. That is so funny. That's funny. It says P. Will's going to cook tonight. Let's see. The Bulls are getting cooked tonight, not just because of Zach LaVine drama, but because my second favorite Chicago Bulls YouTuber, Jamal, a.k.a. Bull Central, is going to be there tonight. Listen, I don't think we've won a game that Jamal has gone to in 2 years. Got to tell Jamal to stay his ass home. Love him, but tell him to stay his ass at home. And we all know that the Bulls always disappoint whenever bro attends games. We still love you, Jamal. Facts. Love Jamal. But stay your black. He's not black, but stay your ass at home. My feelings is Zach LaVine loves Chicago, but I believe he do want to move on at the same time. But let's get this win tonight. Listen, I hate when people try to act. I'm not saying you, Vincent. This isn't you at all. When people act like, well, if you love it, why you want to leave? Listen, you can love a city and not want to live. I love D.C. D.C. is my second favorite city in the United States of America, but I would never in my life live in D.C., right? So he can love Chicago. That love for the city of Chicago can be real, but also, like I said, even taking the negative connotation out of it, he could just want to win. And does this team seem like, keep in mind, Zach LaVine is approaching 30, right? And that's when stuff may start breaking down. And Zach LaVine may want to take control of the last part of his career and say, no, I want to win. And I can't blame him if that's the case. I can't blame him. Archangel Caruso is in, sister. Caruso is in. After hearing what we heard today, do you think it's a case of it's me or Billy? It may be that. It may very well be that. And, you know, if they make the choice on Billy, I mean, I'm actually going to have a video come out tomorrow. And I always hesitate to say my topics because every time you know what, I'm not going to say it. Just know that there's a video coming out tomorrow because every time I publicly say my topic, somebody tries to steal the shit and then I be getting pissed off. Like, it's actually a creative topic, so it is what it is there. Zach LaVine for Zion. At what world do you think you're getting Zion Williamson for Zach LaVine? Let me know the type of drugs you're doing so I can make sure to steer clear of them if you think the Bulls can get Zion Williamson for Zach LaVine. It's not happening. It's not happening. If they did pull it off, shout out to them, but it's not happening. So there you go on that one. Fultz is out too. Okay, shout out to Fultz. Shout out to Fultz. Franz Wagner was supposed to be Bull. Listen, I'll tell you what, the Bulls would have never drafted Franz Wagner. I'll tell you that right now. Franz Wagner would have not been the draft pick because in the Bulls' mind at that time, they had their power forward in Patrick Williams. Franz wouldn't have been the pick there. And I hate to say that, but I got to be real. And I got to also be real in the fact that had we fired Gar Forman and John Paxson a year later, we would have had Tyrese Halliburton because of the Iowa connection, they would have absolutely drafted Tyrese Halliburton. But hey, it is what it is. Haize, do you want to rebuild or no? I've been busy, haven't been able to see your vids. Do I want to rebuild? No. I would much rather prefer retooling, a drastic one, right? But a full rebuild, no. Mainly because like rebuilds suck, right? And I get it that everybody wants to see it because they think, oh, well, we're going to get a rebuild and then we're going to get these high draft picks. And then does that not sound like the years that we were bad and we kept getting number 7 overall picks? That's all I'm saying, right? That could very well be the rebuild futures that we just keep getting years of just getting 7, 8, 6, like those things, right? And then we're just stuck in a rebuild for the next 5 to 8 years, right? That is absolutely a possibility. And I don't really want that. But again, woulda, coulda, shoulda with that one. Chris Corvinio, great question here. Do you think if we start winning, they will still trade Zach? No, I don't think they do. I don't think if it was to the point where they were just at the point where we're trading Zach no matter what, I think that the reporting would have been very different. The hair that they're open to, I think, does leave that doorway open to say, hey, if we can start getting this thing together, we're not going to worry about it, right? By the way, check the fit out. First of all, the satin jacket, right? But then check the hat out. The hat's satin too. See, anybody can have a black Bulls hat, but you ain't got the satin joint. It matches the material of the jacket, right? Details matter when you doing drip. The details matter. The details matter. You can just have a bunch of fly shit but not know how to put it together. The details matter. All right, I had to throw that in there for a little bit. I caught a glimpse of the satin and I had to be like, hey, no, I'm pretty fly tonight. Pretty fly tonight. Who gets the DeMar minutes? I hope Carter, Io, and whoever is playing well and Drummond and Vooch should cook tonight. Well, I mean, it's going to go to whoever's starting in this place. I think that's the biggest question, right, is who's going to be starting in DeMar's place. I'd rather have, I tell you what, Rudy Gobert is softer than Nikola Vucevic. You can talk about it on the basketball court all along, but I'm telling you right now, Rudy Gobert gets paid ridiculous amounts to not get very much more production. Rudy Gobert is one of the softest big men in the history of the NBA, period. Don't let the blocks fool you and make you think that he's not soft. Rudy Gobert is absolutely soft. There have been 5'9" guards that have guarded Rudy Gobert and he couldn't score on. I know somebody's gonna say it probably happened to Nikola Vucevic a couple of times too. So there you go there. Based on what AK has shown so far in Chicago, Paxson drafted so much better. He drafted better before Gar came on. Yes. But once Gar Forman became the GM, the drafting sucked again. So keep in mind, Paxson didn't draft Rose. He didn't draft Taj Gibson, I think, but he did draft Jimmy Butler, I believe. So give him credit on that. But everything else, Jay Lee says, welcome to Chicago, future Bulls. No, I doubt that's going to happen. Keep in mind, the Bulls have next year's Cooper Flagg's not coming in the 2024 draft. He's the 2025 draft at the earliest. The Bulls have a top 10 protected pick that if it doesn't fall in the top 10 is going to the San Antonio Spurs. And the Bulls' luck, I'm not going to take them. I don't think the Bulls are going to be bad enough to get Cooper Flagg. I would love that to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. Got to remember, AK came from Denver and he came here to win. He's not interested in a rebuild. We just came out of one. Listen, I get that was absolutely the initial plan, But I'm not saying, listen, I don't think they're going to go full rebuild, but I'm not putting it out the realm of possibility either. No matter what, the difference between here and Denver is he drafted well in Denver. He never had to go into a full rebuild. It's a completely different situation. As frustrating as the season has been, I will hate to lose Zach and not get any. I keep thinking we need a power forward that can rebound and trade DeMar for a younger, good player. Listen, you can keep saying that, but it's a lot more than we need there. A lot more than we need there. Do you see Draymond, what he did to Rudy yesterday? Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the show. Rod talked about that already. 2024 draft is very, yeah, but you know what? I will say this. For drafts that are usually predicted to be fairly mid, usually you get some really, really good, solid starters out of there. Maybe not superstars, but there are a lot of mid drafts that you still get some solid 10-year starters out of. So I look at this draft and I look at like Tyrese Proctor, right? Tyrese Proctor at the point guard position is a point guard that I don't think he's going to necessarily turn into like a superstar point guard, but I can see him absolutely being a top 15 to 20 point guard in the league if he hits his ceiling and he starts on the same team for 8 to 10 years, right? I can see that happening. But as far as like a team that you get the piece that's going to be what you build your team around for the longest, I don't necessarily see that coming in this upcoming draft either. If AK, I'm trading Debo first, even though his trade value may not be high. I will trade him over Zach unless we're trading both. No point in trading Zach and building around a 34-year-old DeMar. Well, I think in my mind, right, Block Bulls Daily, and I agree with you, but in my mind, it's not necessarily say to build around DeMar, but keep in mind, even if you go super young, you do want older players to help teach the younger players things. So maybe that's the case, but even then, like you said, I don't really like it too much either. I'm gonna say that. I'm just trying to add the other perspective to it, but I don't really like the prospect of trading Zach and keeping DeMar. DMG says, "Sup Haize, what do you think Zach trade value is now? It's really 2 firsts and a young player and a vet like AK wants. Yes, especially for the teams that would be. Keep in mind, if a team is interested in trading for Zach LaVine, it's not to trade for him because he's going to be the new piece they build around. It's because they already have a solid foundation and they're going to be a playoff to a contender team for the rest of the time he's there. So yes, you still want 2 first round picks in that case because listen, who's to say that it's going to be a high first round pick? So I think the young player 2 first is still something you're gonna see in a Zach LaVine trade. Bulls for Life says there's only 2 players I'd want on the Bulls from the 2024 draft, and they're not fucking happening in Bozales and Alex Starr. Listen, we'll see. What do you think of Bronny? Keep Bronny James off my fucking team. Bronny James is going to be absolutely dog shit ass trash at the NBA level. Dog shit ass trash. Denzel Valentine may be a better NBA player than Bronny James. That's all I'm going to say on that. I have no faith in Bronny to be a consistent NBA player. He's definitely not going to be a superstar level player. He may only get drafted because of the name that comes with him and teams hoping that means that LeBron's going to come play for them too. Bronny James is not an NBA prospect at all. He's not. He's glorified Jello ball. And I mean that with every stretch, every fiber in my being. Also, what do you think about Cason Wallace from the Thunder? Those Kentucky guards picked in the lottery usually pan out well. 3-and-D guard, he's nice for real. He's cool. Yo, hey, since we're in this current state of the team right now and talks are centered around LaVine solely right now, Casey said on the spot to not roll out DeMar, just stays here the entire season, just saying, yeah, I mean, we all know that, but that doesn't mean that it's going to happen either. Hey, Zach's career is now 29-35. He's 100. Yeah. Okay. But his teams have also been absolutely dog shit ass terrible. I hate when people try to use a player's record and you not saying you usually D-Dub because I know you're a very solid basketball fan, but you can't use a player's record and take out of context the fact that he was on a team for 7 years that built dog shit around him. Period. Sorry. Yes, Zach LaVine played a part in that, but Zach LaVine got better every single one of those years. So listen, the record that he has at the Chicago Bulls is also due to having shitty ass. This motherfucker played next to Chris Dunn. He played on a team where they drafted Denzel Valentine in the lottery, right? That's not on him. Those aren't decisions that he made. So I'm sorry, I can't put that record just on Zach LaVine. And if anything, it just shows that he's not a number one, which is not something that we didn't know already, right? Haize, I heard that you were auditioning for Santa Claus with your bushy ass beard. First of all, Omar, I ain't auditioning for shit. I was rubbing your mama's thigh with my beard, and then she decided to buy me this jacket. That's what happened. So the frizziness that you see from it is just because your mama's dry ass thighs, but it don't matter. I got the bag anyway. My bad boy, you ain't gonna get your dinner tonight. Your mama had to drop some money off with me, cuz. Then he says, I'm just messing around. For it's all love, bro. I'm just giving you shit. I still think the Bulls can get a deal done with the Nets without getting Cam Thomas. They got a lot of assets, and I've always been high on Whitehead. Listen, and this is where people start getting them in places that are just, that's not, to me, if you're taking Whitehead, I need Mikal Bridges too. That's what I'm saying with that one. Bronny going to be an all-star Hazy trip. No, Bronny ain't going to be shit. Come back to me in 5 years when Bronny James has not done shit. Maybe a G League all-star game, but he ain't doing shit at the NBA level. Facing the Magic is actually crazy for real. I see Levine, 35-plus points. While he's still loose and get fucked up by Wagner, just throw salt on the wound. Luckily, Wendell out, too. That's funny. What's good, Haize? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing mostly all right, brother. I appreciate you checking in with me. Did you see what Draymond did? Yes. Yes, we saw. We talked about it to open the show. Bulls daily. Denzel and that's what I'm saying, right? Like if you're gonna talk in about a player's record, also look at what the team in front office and the decisions they made. He was coached by Jim Boylan. Jim Boylan was here a year and a half. Why did it feel like longer than that? But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Super Duper Danko in the building says, Haize, please tell me there's no world where the Bulls re-sign and keep DeMar. What does that do for us? Hey, I wish I could tell you that. I really do wish I can get on here on this platform and tell you there's zero chance that the Chicago Bulls re-sign DeMar DeRozan. But listen, I can't say that. I can't say that at all. Coolest JB in the building says, checking in, Haize, what's good? Let's get this win tonight. Absolutely, my guy. Let's hope so. Do you think the Heat trading us Hero would be a losing trade for them, like everyone likes to make it seem on CHGO? By losing trade for them, do you mean losing trade for our front office or a losing trade for the Miami Heat? Zach LaVine is a better player than Tyler Hero, period. And if you put him next to a player like Jimmy Butler, it will maximize Zach LaVine's skills. And I also think having a coach like Eric Spoelstra could actually get Zach LaVine to fix some of the things that's going on with him. But, it is what it is there. The funniest thing about Haize said about the Bulls owners was Jerry Reinsdorf was going out, live us all and our grandchildren's children. Listen, I told y'all, evil never dies. Don't let Halloween ends fool you. Evil doesn't die tonight. Jerry Reinsdorf will literally be 168 years old. We will all be dead and gone. And he'll just be sitting there like, luxury tax? Fuck no. It'd be like, Jerry, it's 2065. What are we talking about? We still can't pay the luxury tax? Jerry, no. That's literally what it's going to be. It's literally what it's going to be. Ammo says, this team needs a DeMar even for a rebuild to keep the young guys. No, they don't. Listen, let me ask you this. What has DeMar done for the young guys now? Are they playing? Have they ascended to superstar level? I get what you're saying, but you can get a veteran for cheaper than that if you need a veteran to help keep the young guys in line. So, Haize, bro, it's sad because if we do keep everyone, we keep in Billy, but if we rebuild, we keep in Billy, so we're screwed either way. That's crazy. Bulls for Life says CHGO's. Oh, well, I'm not. I like Mark. Despite me turning Bulls Twitter on him, which I did not mean to do, I like Mark K. Matt and Dave are my guys. You will never hear me say nothing bad about them. And I think Will is an amazing writer. The only podcast I don't really care for in CHGO is CHGO Bears. That's a god-awful ass pod. CHGO Bears is shitty. Other than that, I got all love for CHGO. Brazil Popular chips in with DeMar out. Zach probably looking to up his value. No. Listen, y'all gotta. This ain't soap operas. Zach LaVine, even if he did go on a tear, it's not gonna up his. Teams know they have the data on Zach LaVine. They know what Zach is and what Zach isn't. So a 5, a 10, a 15 game stretch isn't going to change Zach LaVine's value. Now, if he had a whole season of averaging like 35 points per game, that may change the value. But between the time now and the trade deadline, there's not going to be a lot that's going to trade, that's going to up Zach LaVine's value because they know what Zach is. They know what Zach is. Chamoy says, Haize, what did you take from Zach LaVine's shoot-around interview? Actually, I have a video on that on the channel. So, but it feels like it's the end of the road. That's really what it feels like. This may be unpopular, to be honest, but I don't really miss Wendell. Sure, he's a solid player, but he just seems like he will always be what he is right now, which is just fine. Exactly. Wendell Carter has not gotten better since he left the Chicago Bulls. There are absolutely some players that have absolutely gotten better since they left the Bulls. But when people try to use that Wendell thing, nah, Wendell ain't gotten better. All his advanced analytics are still the exact same. He's just playing a bigger role. Everything's the exact same. So yeah, Wendell's cool. I mean, he's not a terrible NBA player, don't get me wrong, but he's not what some fans try to make him out to be. Zach is staying and DeMar is leaving. I have that feeling. That would really surprise a lot of Bulls fans if that's the way it ended up going. The focus got to be on improving our lottery pick, not losing the 2025 pick to the Spurs. This team is at a talent deficit. Yeah, but the thing is, here's what I'm going to counter you with that. With the lottery odds flattening out, right, is that the Bulls could be one of the worst teams in the NBA and still lose that lottery pick. That's the risk. Now just imagine, I'm not saying you, but imagine the way the Bulls fans would take if this team bottoms out, right, and does decide to rebuild, blow it up, whatever. And then next year, we happen to fall at number 11 and the Spurs get that pick. Can you imagine the way that it'll riot? So, Steve-O, my little brother, says, my head hurts. I don't want to watch this shit. Listen, a lot of people agree with you. A lot of people agree with you on that one. My big brother, Spicy Butters, in the building says, what's good, little bro? Drink some organic tea, LOL. Also, I don't like trade talk. I like talking about a way to win. I'm Bulls Nation for real. Listen, I agree with you, right? I 100% agree with you. I do like talking about ways that the team can improve, but sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward. I'm not saying that's necessarily what they're going to do, but sometimes that's it. Debo being out tonight, it's imperative P will start at the 3. We got to see how Shorty coming at the 3 spot. Listen, that's what I know. A lot of Bulls fans hold this thing with P will at the 3. I don't think the Bulls plan on P will. Keep in mind, AK said that he wanted to see Dalen Terry play some small ball 5 when Dalen Terry was drafted. I just don't think that this team is really invested in P will being a 3 long term. I could be wrong on that. We'll see. The starting lineup should be announced here within the next couple of minutes. Let's see. Haize, what would be the most surprising team LaVine gets traded to? My guess would be the Grizzlies. Oh, shit, absolutely. You know what? I wouldn't mind us getting Desmond Bane back. I know he's had a rough start to the season. I wouldn't mind that at all. Give me, I don't even have the contracts off the top of my head, so I don't want to get to predicting things that can't happen. But most surprising team, I'm going to say the most surprising team that I would be surprised is the Charlotte Hornets if they traded with the Chicago Bulls. Wendell is Tyrese Thomas. No, you know what? No, Wendell is more consistent than Tyrese Thomas. But Patrick Williams is, if you look at Patrick Williams' production and Tyrese Thomas's production, it'll scare the shit out of you. Haize, do you think people undersell Kobe's ceiling like he can be a 25, 5, and 5 guy? Which is what? No, I think that Kobe does have that potential. Now, the question is, can he do that on a winning team? I think right now, for example, if you remove Zach, if you move DeMar, Kobe can average 25, 26 points per game, but how much do you win in that? Well, I was wrong. Patrick Williams is starting at the 3. So there you go, Bulls Daily. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Torrey Craig, Nikola Vucevic. I'm actually really excited about this lineup. The reason why is because you expect either Kobe White or Patrick Williams are getting a lot of shots in this game. And I really, really am excited to see what that's going to be. I'm really excited about this lineup now. I'm really, really excited about that. Really excited about it. Do you think people I hate it when people don't leave the same comment twice. I see everything. I see everything. Okay? If I skip your comment, it means I ain't reading it. You can leave it 50 more times. I'm not going to read it. Haize, I got no confidence in Acme to make the right moves going forward. Convince me otherwise. Here's what I'll convince you to. Look at AK's draft record with Denver. It's solid. Here's the other thing that I'm going to convince you on. This team, when with the original vision AK had for this team was working. We were the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. I don't think we would have dropped lower than 4 or 5 in that season with everything shook out. And had Lonzo not went down, and we've been able to focus the last 2 off seasons on bringing in talent to fix the holes on that team, we're talking about a team that easily is 4 or 5 in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have not rebounded well since Lonzo Ball went down at all. It's actually been terrible. But AK, when he's locked in with his vision, usually executes it well. The problem is he hasn't pivoted off that vision so far. He's held on so much that 35-game glimpse that things have gone left. But AK is a pretty solid GM. I just think that maybe he underestimated how restrictive not going into the luxury tax was going to be working for Jerry Reinsdorf. And I also think he doesn't have the right coach for what he's trying to do. But there are signs to say that it could change. But we got to see. I understand that there may be a change, but it would piss me off. Think about this. Look at Zach with a good PG and without one. Very, very good player. And Zach, yeah. But the thing is, you also have to ask, is a very, very good player enough to pay $45 million? And that I'm just saying the questions that the front office may be asking. I'm not saying necessarily where I sit with this. I'm just saying that the questions that they may be asking themselves. If LaVine gets himself ejected in the first quarter, he's gangster. What the hell? How did we get there? How did we get there? Billy's been to all the gas stations in Chicago. The city's out of gum. Listen, no. That may be a way to get him out of Chicago. Ban gum in Chicago. He may have to leave forever. What do you think about a Mo Cheeks head coaching? I think that time is past, Mo Cheeks, personally. Yes, I'm happy to see this lineup as well. I'm definitely going to be looking at people to have a good game. Yeah, for sure. I'll give pushback on that. We needed size, not another Project Swiss Army knife. Yeah, and he went out and got Andre Drummond that same season. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Walker Kessler should have been the pick, but let's not act like AK didn't go out and get size. He did go out and get size. If Major Payne was our coach, how far would our team go? Major Payne would be a terrible head coach. The Bulls' commitment to Billy Donovan will be this team's downfall. Most on the current roster does not want to play for him or believe. No, I mean, if you believe the reports that have come out today, it seems like the team actually sides more with Billy Donovan than Zach LaVine. And I don't mean the team as in like the execs. I mean the players. And I'm saying if you believe that. I do think that they are frustrated with some certain things, but I don't know if they're out on him completely. Drummond is quick too, much faster than Vooch and better defensively. Yeah, but he's also a terrible offensive player, generally, unless he's going downhill. He makes harebrained decisions, which cost your team things. And with the current makeup of this team, starting Drummond, if that's what you're saying, instead of Vooch, would absolutely be terrible for the offense. Absolutely be terrible for the offense. With all the execs being here in Chicago, do you think something happens quickly within the next few weeks? Because if both parties want something done, they get it done. No, I don't. I don't think so. I told nothing's happening before December 15th. Nothing. So you might as well wait, dig in. We got a whole nother month. Nothing's happening before December 15th. Vucevic is not getting choked, y'all bugging. Vooch may play with finesse, but he's looking like he's ready to knock somebody. Oh, you can talk about Vooch on the basketball court all day long, but if a fight broke out, ain't many people fucking with Nikola Vucevic. I can guarantee you that right now. Do you think Phillips gets any minutes? Well, they did call up Ernulop Bidham today, so maybe that may point to that more than Phillips. I don't know what the fuck is what the plan is with Phillips, and that's a problem. That's a problem. So we trading Zach, yet he's playing. How's that helping the team? What do you mean? Is he not still a player for the Chicago Bulls? What, this ain't soap operas. You don't say, and nobody said that they're trading. Like, people don't let the headlines fool you. Go and read the article. Nothing is saying that a trade is imminent. Nothing. He's not getting traded for another month, probably at the bare minimum. So yes, you still play him. You still play him. Just woke up to all the crazy Bulls news. Hot take. I think Zach's going to the Cavs or so. Can we get the Cavs? Where did you get the Cavs from? Why the Cavs? How did you get to that point of saying the Cavs? That's crazy. Oh no, definitely not start drum over Vooch. I'm glad Vooch is in these rumors. If anything with Zach and or DeMar happens, we'll keep Vooch through his new contract. Well, I think it'll happen with this. I don't think Vooch is going to immediately be traded if they do, but that doesn't mean that the offseason, maybe next trade deadline, I don't know if he finishes out his contract with the Bulls is what I'll say, right? Certification Pappy says if he gets traded to the Cavs, might as well say bye-bye to spacing on this team. Facts. Facts. Folks said Cavs out of all people. That was a wild one. That's a crazy one. Do you feel Billy's been doing? Now, honestly, I think Billy's been doing better with timeouts than what he did like last season or season prior. Personally, I think he's been using them better. I think the season started off rough, but I think he got it together a little bit. Great point from Zil Popular. A lot less center options out there, so most likely Vooch stay. Great point. Great point. So we'll see, man. Let's hope that that's the case. Let's hope the Bulls can get a dub. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. We'll be back at halftime, y'all. And let's hope that the Bulls can come in and play well against a Orlando Magic team that struggles defensively. Listen, the Orlando Magic are one of the worst offensive teams in basketball. So let's hope the Bulls can take advantage of that, y'all. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button as well on your way out as we're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers by the what are we trying to get to by the end of the season, which listen, if this team goes full rebuild, that definitely ain't happening. So let's see what happens, man. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. Peace, y'all.